Welcome everybody to Ozarks Tonight. I'm Brian Calfano, joined by our Ozarks first contributors, Amy Blansett and Nick Reed. And full disclosure, before we start, you and I teach college.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to throw the question out there because we make some of our money, or most of our money, I don't know about your situation, but yeah, from working at universities.
Yes.
And there's a discussion that has been percolating along for several decades now as to whether or not it is worth it to go to college. And usually this is in the context of going for a liberal arts degree, not going for something like nursing or accounting and that sort of deal. And it is, to my thinking, a question we should come back to again and again, because you keep hearing about kids today coming up and they're going to have all this debt, and there's not really the kind of good paying jobs available for them when they get out of school that maybe you had back 30 or 40 years ago. Eventually they'll make money, but not right away. They're going to have all kinds of expenses. College, is it worth it for the vast majority of folks? And we'll start with, let's let Nick go first. Okay. And then you and I can tag team him on this.
Talk about university. Ready?
Okay, right. Well, full disclosure, I went for a bit, and then I was what I think they call academically uninvited at what was then SMS. I actually, I did really great in high school and everything, but college was a very, very expensive camp for me for about a year and a half. And it took me quite a time to pay it off. But I think I do illustrate that it depends on what you're going to do. There are, as you mentioned, a number of jobs that it is required. And we have a 10-year-old, we've had this discussion because she, asked questions about college and do I need to go? What if I want to do this or this? There has long been a culture, and when I went to high school, this culture existed that you just went. That's what you did. And if you didn't, then you were going to have one of these other jobs that are actually very, very well-paying jobs. And even if you didn't know why you were going, the advice that you were given generally was, well, you don't have to know for the first couple years anyhow. Now, talk about a lesson in education. When you were told that it's all right to go thousands and thousands of dollars in debt towards something you don't even know what it is. No other thing do we do that with. But we do it, and I think it was because there was a time, maybe it was more necessary perhaps, but we need to, I think, get away from that stigma and just recognize there are certain careers out there that if this is really what you want to do, then you should, that this is the path you take. But that there are a lot of other great fantastic jobs out there that make very, very, very good hourly dollar, wages that do not take that pathway. And then I'll also say, I think that there is padding that appears to go on. I remember as a freshman, you're just told, well, just pick some of these, ballroom dancing, and these, it's just, when I look back in it in retrospect, think how much money I had to pay back for that. It just seems as if we don't have a realistic look at what it is there for.
So you got off the merry-go-round rather quickly. Amy, what is the reason you would give for someone saying, I don't need to go to college, I should just go learn air conditioning repair because I can make a good buck hourly on that? What's the response?
Well, I think that's still a form of college. That's one of the things where, especially OTC is always saying, like, hey, what about us when we're talking about college? And that is where the important thing is. In Springfield, we are very lucky that we have associates, we have technical, and then we do have the traditional universities. And so I think it's really important that when we're talking about education opportunities, that we are discussing all those opportunities. Right now we're seeing funding coming in some major areas in our state, and that is for apprenticeships and for certificate-based education that you don't need 4 years, you may not even need 2 years, but it is in the jobs that need to be filled. So right now we are having this complete new exploration and cultural change of college is good, and many people do need to go to college for those higher level demands and skills. But really, the areas that have the greatest amount of job openings now can be filled in a shorter period of time. I think they're a good stepping stone, but many of those jobs, the HVAC repairman, out of that, or woman, is that they still are entry level. So you can complete these skill up programs or many of these mentorship, and but you're still going into a $12, maybe a $15 position. That's great. As a kid who's coming out, you want to learn what you are going to do, but then we have to have the next steps. And maybe that's when the university comes back into play. Missouri State's working on that right now. For individuals who haven't completed their degrees, there's a program for you. If you just want to complete a degree, that you could go back. If not, so we are looking at other ways to get individuals educated, but maybe the 4-year isn't always necessary.
Yeah, but is it just to learn a skill? What about the public benefit of having an educated public? And I know someone might say, well, do you only get educated in college? Like, God forbid, right? Shouldn't you have been educated before that? And I would say, okay, yeah, except no offense to public schools, right? But what has gone on, particularly I think since the last part of the George W. Bush administration, was sort of this teaching to the test, and a lot less opportunity to think about how to be analytical and to learn those kinds of skills. And so now maybe you get those things in college. And if you're having people not go, where do you get people who are actually able to be analytical, or at least have a chance to start to understand that?
The other thing that the university time gives students is that our brain doesn't quit developing, especially in the frontal lobe of making good quality decisions, until our mid-20s. So this time in college, as you're talking about, gives us kind of social exploration where we still have some protection for students who are in college now. It's very expensive protection, as you mentioned, but not for everyone. For those who have the capacity to go to school, you know, there is that time. But, you know, you're right to where it's not right for everyone, and we've got to make those decisions and not shame individuals who don't go to college.
Last word, Nick.
Well, I think in many instances, they're the ones that display a greater level of intelligence because they choose to take a path that makes more money as an income, and then they don't owe anyone anything.
But not always.
Not
that's
always. No, that's
problem.
absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Not always. It really does. When we look for answers, we look for just sort of these magical answers that sort of one size fits all or one formula fits all. And oftentimes, it just isn't there. So, I mean, it's a good question, but I think the answer, it just depends on who you are and what you're looking for. And I do think within the university system itself that there could be some more efficient ways to go about when you've got all of those courses that a lot of students that first year are having to pick to take, and they're randomly just picking whatever at $100 an hour. That's not a very good system.
All right, you two. Thanks. Very analytical.
On the job training.
Yes. Nick Reed, Amy Blancett. We'll be back after this.